Do we have a presentation this evening?
Yes, we do. Associated Humane Society, Brian Becker is here to talk about the Trap Neuter Release Program for the feral cat population matter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm going to attempt to not bore you all to death tonight. Can't promise you though.
Brian, if you want to sit instead of standing, it's up
Perfect, that's great. So the program that the Humane Society is offering to the township. All right, better. So the program that the Humane Society is offering to the township, I usually like to start off with the best news of anything. It's free to the township. Usually a little easier when I say that. So the program itself is to control the current feral cat population. Right now, there's two avenues that you can go off of. It's either trap and euthanize, or trap and remove, which generally is a term of trap and euthanize, which generally runs the township a lot more money if you go that route, as well as it doesn't generally stop the issue. Within the realm of animal welfare and dealing with feral cats, you have what's called the vacuum effect. Feral cats are in one location because there's the access to generalized food and shelter. If you remove one colony of 12, you may have a colony of 10, and a colony of 12, or a colony of 20 that will move into that location because the resources are already there. That's where TNR is the second option. Cats from that colony are trapped. They are brought to our facility where they are vetted appropriately. They all get obviously fixed, spay and neuter, rabies, distemper vaccines, microchip. They get that FIV, FVLV test, which is your test for feline AIDS, feline leukemia, and then anything appropriate additionally that may be needed from our veterinarian's aspect, and then they are returned back to a managed registered colony to the township for further care. Within that time frame, you see two ideas of population reduction. You see that immediate response because we are keeping your kittens, we're keeping your friendly cats, and your semi-ferals is where we deem them. Your semi-ferals are worked with to where they will hopefully become friendly, to where we can then adopt them out. Your ferals are the ones that are just unsocialized and just past the frame of us being able to work with them further, to where they can, again, be released back out to that appropriate colony for the remainder of their life. The average feral cat lifespan is anywhere to about 5 to 7 years, and I'll say that in a very average end of it. You can have some that live shorter than 5 to 7 years. You could have some that live longer than 5 to 7 years. Again, that's the national standard from what we see statistically. Again, the program itself, I believe I did email a lot of this information to you guys. Hopefully you guys were given it. Again, the program...
Yes. Email. Well, through email, Brian.
At some point you'll get it.
Speak into the mic, please, Ms. Waldman.
So again, the program itself, it does outline the general medical responsibilities that are done to the Humane Society for each cat that's given. Again, there is a requirement that obviously the agreement of the proposal and the MOU that we would have between the township and the Humane Society, as well as ordinances that would follow that would be in support of that program, as well as places the requirements of that program within the county manager, and again, it similarly adds the requirements to that and the enforcement end of it. I have supplied you guys with a copy of the Borough of Highlands ordinance that they put in place for their program, as well as soon as the Township of Aberdeen finalizes their ordinances, I could supply you with those as well to see what they are moving forward with as well. Again, it's the county managers themselves are required to keep a generalized list of all the cats within their colony. Descriptions, names. I guarantee every one of your county managers have names for every one of their cats. They may have a couple duplicates, but they all got names. How long they've been in that colony, when they were fixed, when they were vaccinated, and then a subsequent list updated every month to where code enforcement from the town, any township official, or us at the Humane Society, since we are also your animal control, can go and request them to produce those documents to check. Every county manager does sign this agreement. Pretty much explain that they are responsible for the day-to-day care of those cats. Again, providing them with basic food, water, and shelter. They are allowing both either myself or any other Humane Society personnel onto their property, in any access to their property, short of obviously inside of their households, to conduct this TNR where we're trapping them and removing them. And then again, they understand that if they are given the permission to trap on their own on our behalf, to where we may be at a different part of the town, if it's a county manager that I do trust enough, we'll allow them to trap themselves. Again, it's them understanding that if they do trap, they're not going to be trapping any cat that they already know to be owned or any wild animal to be tested in a general laboratory setting. Again, it just understand, again, they're also starting to understand that there's some cats that the best recourse would be unfortunately euthanasia, whether it's a severe medical issue, which is generally the main aspect to it. Again, there's a generalized county law they're required to keep. Now, again, to get a little bit more into the program itself, you have the aspect of this signing agreement, as well as the ordinance that are in place. From there, we do generally recommend a public meeting with your township residents where we can in-depth explain that program to them. It's also the best way to get the actual residents on board. Again, you are always going to have certain residents that are opposed to cats. I dealt with 3 so far this week, and it's only Tuesday. It's a matter of generally explaining them. A lot of the residents are under the idea that, within most towns, there's nothing being done. It's a lot of residents, they'll be a lot happier as when they know that something's being done. Again, and at the general mindset of it is, I don't really want them on my property, but I don't want them euthanized. That's where the option of TNR is your best recommendation. If you go actually onto the New Jersey State Department of Health's website, you all know, just like I do, New Jersey is not always the quickest to respond to new approaches. New Jersey is not either for or against TNR. They leave it up to the municipality. Again, it's within their information on their site. They're determined that if the municipality does want to go with TNR, it is appropriate to be within the standard that we're offering you guys, which is this fully registered and organized fashion to move forward. As well as I also have a letter that I could provide to you guys from the Humane Society of the United States in their support of generalized TNR programs. Again, the program itself, through studies that are being done, it's the most effective way to regulate your cat population. Going into it again, you have that both immediate and long-term extended population reduction. You have that, again, you have that immediate reduction because you are taking your friendlies, your kittens and your semi-ferals, and you have that long-term reduction. Again, the ferals that are released back out within that time frame of life, they will generally within that natural selection clause, they'll reduce down until that county is deceased. Again, each cat within the program itself is microchipped. That way, if we end up finding a cat that's deceased, whether it's hit by a car or whatever it is, we're able to document what cat that is through that microchip so that we know exactly. Maybe Colony 6 had 12 cats. 2 have now been found to be deceased. Now they have 10. So it's a accurate and most up-to-date fashion to know where your population level is at any one point. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. That's the easy way of explaining the program itself. Again, the program itself is at no cost to the township. It's the best thing that we can do for you but again, at the end of the day, it helps the township. It will hopefully end the complaints that you guys get. I know Maria in the office has already sent me some stuff that we've gone out to look at. Again, it's the best option that we can recommend that will both it'll give the township an option of having a program in place, as well as it will make the residents happy that there's a program in place to actually hopefully counter and control that population end of it.
I have a lot of questions.
I have a lot of answers. I hope.
Well, that's why I brought it up. How do you, I guess starting from the beginning, how would you proceed? How do you go on private property and look for cats, or?
So at this point, Once the program is approved and the ordinances are placed, I've been doing this long enough to where I could pretty much drive by a house and generally seeing if there's cats there. Again, if there's cats hanging out to one specific property, it means that either that house is feeding or somebody in that close proximity is also feeding. To where it's within the normal course of our duties, we can go up to the house and knock on the door and explain why we're there, explain what we're hoping to accomplish with this program. Generally, with the realm of TNR and caring for feral cats, it is a very lucrative end of it, because unfortunately people think that they're going to get summons and fined and in a lot of trouble. The program itself is a way to let your residents know that the program's in
Well-
place, we're here to help you.
What if they're perfectly happy with their cats and don't want anything to do with you?
I've had that instance as well. And this is where the requirement of that ordinance goes into place. It does require that your county caretaker, anyone that's feeding cats within the township boundaries, must register with the program. If they don't register, again, we go to the house like usual, we explain the program, and we explain the ordinances that are in place for the program, and they're given that week time frame to come register. If they do, at that point, continue to refuse, they are, at that point, summoned for the interfering in the program, or in that point, interfering with animal control duties.
I don't think I like that at all. I don't know about anybody else, but
At the end of the day, the realm of the program itself is to help. Generally, you're not going to have a resident that's going to say, no, I don't want your help. If you're offering to spay neuter the cats for free, as long as they know that it's for free and they're not going to be euthanized, I've yet to have, in my years of doing it, someone say no.
are you releasing them back to the same people again?
Yes. The ones that are deemed feral and unadoptable, yes.
Wait a minute, but what if they are adoptable? But
So when they sign the agreement registering with the program, they understand that if they're friendly and adoptable, we will keep them for adoption. And we'll try to, that's where you have that
maybe
targeted
they'd
reduction.
like to keep them. That's my point. You mean, I don't want to see,
I do understand where you're coming from. So in that aspect, we try to work with them. Again, the overall point of the program itself is to reduce the amount of cats that are outside.
Yeah, it's a pet.
Yeah.
For some people, that cat's a pet.
right, our cat is
Okay.
outside.
Or is it your own cat inside? So again,
Get that cat.
Oh,
But take a stand inside.
he goes outside too.
Yes, they are.
I think that there might be some consideration or some concern. There are various farms, and a farm may have 8 or 10 cats, feral cats, to reduce the,
so in that aspect.
and they want them back.
Right, no, fully understanding that. So if it's the realm where it's a farm or it's your general cat, my hope is that you would say, hey, listen, that's my cat. I'm careful. I would prefer it back. In that realm, if the township has no objections to that, we can always accommodate that. Again, the overall point of the program itself is to get every cat within the township through the program to where they are fixed, to where there's no additional kittens, and vaccinated to where there's no human health risk. So
I
in
am
that realm,
definitely in favor of that, but there's still, we have quite a few farms. We have a large rural community, and we also have individual, like myself, who
Right.
have one cat who's a pet, who likes to sun
Right.
outside all day and loves people, and he's, by the way, every cat, I'm 74 years old, and I've had a lot of cats in my lifetime, and every single one started out as a feral kitten.
exactly. I have 3 in my house that started
And
as
one
ferals.
lived to be 28 years old.
Right, yeah. I have a 22-year-old feral, as mean as they can be when I got him.
Well, no, mine are never mean.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And I happen to believe that
that.
cats and dogs are like people. If you love them and they love you back, they're not going to be mean and nasty.
No, I know. So again, answering your question, it's in that, again, I take every situation case by case. If I have a county manager that has the cats and they want those cats back, again, as long as the township within the course of the program has no objections to us releasing those cats back, they have that option.
Well,
I have no
our
objection
cat's
to it.
well taken care of. He doesn't need any any help. But by the same token, if he's walking around outside, and I've never seen him leave our 3 acres, but
Okay.
he might someday, and he's afraid of the road, so he doesn't go near the road. That's
Okay.
wonderful about him. I'd hate to see somebody, I'd be very upset if somebody just came along and picked him up.
Is he fixed and microchipped already?
No, he's not microchipped.
Okay.
We don't want to do that to him. And he
Okay.
doesn't have a collar because he hates
I
it.
hear you. So.
Well, they'll
and
catch
that-
it when they're outside, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Again, but the collar is
But
outside.
he's obviously well taken care of.
Right.
His coat's so soft and furry and.
Right, no, yeah, I've been doing it, I've been in the animal welfare industry for about 13 to 14 years. And my background goes into cruelty, so I'm pretty good at determining if a cat's been outside for long enough. With that, again, in that aspect, if he's friendly, it's a matter of, okay, whose cat is this? Okay, and if he ends up going to the shelter, even if we keep a pet at the shelter, by state law, we're still holding them for 7 days in the event that we do catch somebody's own cat. Again, within the normal time frame of that is, if we're keeping them, we have to hold them for that time frame to where hopefully somebody would make that determination that, hey, my cat's missing. And then they either call us or come in where we could get an idea of where it is and say, hey, yeah, we have your cat. And in that time frame, it would be a matter of coming into our facility, signing the redemption form, and you're good to go. And generally what I do is, it's not when the program is in place, it's not a secret that I'm going out. I generally go to a few neighbors in the areas. I'll be within your block, on your street or wherever it's going to be tomorrow. The main course is hopefully I don't get the cops called on me, which has happened. And it's to let them know that, I'm in that area at that point, and I'm there to trap the catch
A cat
for the phone for
napper.
that. I've been called it all, so. But, it's in that realm, it's to where you don't have that issue, as well as if there is a resident that has an indoor-outdoor cat, to where they're told, if you have an indoor-outdoor cat within this time frame tomorrow, keep it inside, to hopefully prevent that issue of coming up.
Yeah, I need to know that if it's somebody's cat and they want it back, you'll give it back to them. Without that, I'll never agree.
Oh, yeah,
to this.
if it's somebody's own cat, and they want that cat back, 100%. And the overall realm of the program itself, we can go, and the realm of it is generally, the idea is kittens and friendlies, we have the option of taking. Now, with that being said, if it's somebody's own cat, and it's documented that it's their cat, again, they have the option of taking that cat back 100%.
When you say documented, what does that mean?
Every person that's feeding and caring for cats within the township, if they have a physical colony, they would be registered within this program. If it's just Mr. Walsh, so you have one cat, just say?
I got a tough cat behind me. He lives with the foxes and everything else.
Right.
He's got to be a tough cat to live back there.
So in that realm, if you want him back, again, I'm not just going onto a random person's property to trap them. I'm generally trapping what's already going to be a colony itself. If you have 1 or 2 stragglers, I'm generally going to a few different houses and say, is this your cat? I'm going to be trapping here. And in that realm, they're hopefully saying, I have a cat that is here, or it's my indoor-outdoor cat. At that point, I'm taking the description. If they have a picture, great. If they could give me a description of what it looks like, then if I catch it, my first thing I do is instead of just throwing the truck and going, if it's in the trap, I'm going to go to their house and say, hey, is this your cat? Yes? Okay. And I ask, is it fixed? Is it vaccinated? If it is, then I can release it right there.
Can I ask a question here, Brian, Penny? Yes. Do we have a problem here?
Yes, we do.
We do, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Brian can speak further on it when the phone calls come in. There's pictures.
No, but I'm saying you would
Feral
know.
cat problem, yes. So Associated Humane can only do so much.
They really can. Their hands are tied. They can only do so much. They're offering this program if you're interested.
Okay, so you're telling me that we do have a problem here and how that,
How severe, Brian can go into further detail.
excuse me?
How severe
I don't
problem
know how
is.
severe.
No,
We have
but
a
yes,
problem.
there's a problem. Problem in every town now.
Is there?
It's not just, it's,
Yeah.
Howell's no different really
Yeah.
than any
Okay,
other
listen, I'm
town.
asking a question.
Right.
Yeah.
And it depends on the section of town you're
Right.
in.
Yeah, I'm asking a question, that's all.
So I could tell you there's pretty much not a township in New Jersey that doesn't have some form of amount of feral cats. Whether they're already fixed, again, there are several towns that have already taken the option of doing a program like this, and it's worked great. Seabright? So Seabright, under the chief of police over there, several years ago, took a program directly from the town. They didn't have any sponsors like us or SPCA. They did the program under its, completely on its own, and the feral cats are obviously there, but most of their cats, if not all of them, are through their program where they're fixed and done.
I just didn't know if there was a problem and I need to feel safe. I need to feel that if it's somebody's cat and they want it back, you're gonna give it back to them, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
If you tell me that that's the way it works, I'm okay.
It's, yeah, so in that realm, again, if it's somebody's cat, I don't want to take somebody's property any more than the next guy. It's, again, my previous work was doing humane law enforcement. So I'm very big on the letter of the law. And in the state of New Jersey, animals are property. So again, if it comes to where I get the knowledge that it is somebody's cat and they want it back, and again, and the township has no objections for that, I have no problem giving them that cat back. Absolutely not. Again, the realm of the program itself is to eliminate the population that's outside within that feral end of it. Again, whether it's that short or long term. Again, if it's somebody's property, they want the cat back, 100% the cat will go back to them.
And if the governing body at any time wanted to get out of this program, it can, right?
So on the agreement itself, I have to just find it. The agreement itself is the governing body may be canceled by either party within 30 days at any point, but we must have 30 days notification prior.
Okay.
And again, this program itself is in a continuation to our animal control contract. So if that contract does at any point get canceled, this program as well gets canceled.
I'm good.
If I might. So if you go on someone's, or you see a couple of cats, and you see that the ear has been clipped, and obviously that's a sign that it's already been neutered or
Yes.
spayed. And this is I know in Eatontown, you can take a pet down, I think it's $60, they spay or neuter and do a year's worth of shots.
Yep.
Then you take the kitty home the next night. So there are people that have feral cats outside, and, I guess they deem it a pet, even though it's just outside, but you can see that it's already been taken care of. In that case, you would just walk away from that
So
specific cat.
in that case, what I would generally do is, within the realm of this program, I would still knock on the door and just ask, hey, do you have any documentation to when this cat was fixed and when it was vaccinated last? Again, one of the also availabilities to this program is to where the town can know at a monthly within that update of what their feral cat population is within the borders of the township. So again, even if the cat's not necessarily done through this program, if they are already fixed, they're already vaccinated, person will get some form of documentation showing that. To where we just say, do you have it? Can I see it?
Do you provide the shots on a yearly basis, should somebody have feral cats?
So this is where it's still on that lopside of it. There's a current study right now being done by a doctor in genealogy. I forget his name. I think I provided it to you guys. It's a study of I believe it's either 8 or 10 years for rabies immunity. Right now, I believe they're in year 7. They're either in year 7 or 8 to where the rabies immunity level is still within appropriate levels. So again, anyone that has done TNR will say, catch a cat once, okay. Catch a cat twice, gonna get harder. Catching it 3 times, good luck. My realm of it is, if you want to catch a cat 3 times, you're more likely to go outside in a very sunny day and get hit by lightning. It's extremely hard to catch a cat 3 times. You get some cats that they see food, they're right in, they don't care how many times you catch them. You have certain cats and most cats that you're not going to be that fortunate with. Then there's a current study, which I believe I provided to Penny, that does show that immunity level for rabies is well beyond that 1 year as the manufacturer does input.
So the answer to the question is they don't have to retrap if the people have a couple of feral
If they can already
cats
show that they have proof of it.
within a
we-
7 or 8 year period.
Generally, yeah. Again, we can attempt to retrap. I'm not gonna stand up here and lie to you and say that we will retrap every cat, because it's just not possible. You have certain cats that, once you catch a cat once, they don't want anything to do with the trap. And you'll be, when I say, it's the hardest thing, it's one of the harder things that you can do within animal welfare. Again, I'm not saying that every cat is impossible to get retrapped, but for the main bulk of it, it's hard to retrap them. Again, we could always make the attempt if that's what the municipality.
I mean, the Humane
Right.
Society is doing this now down in Eatontown. You know, you can take your animal
That's
down.
through the that's through the SPCA itself. Yeah. They have the program that's open through their clinic. They have it, which is open to the public. If a public member traps a cat, they go to their clinic to have the same availability, surgery, rabies, distemper, and ear tip. That's the basic that they
Right.
offer. Anything additional to that is at a cost to them. Again, above the general cost of that they have imposed already. What we're offering to the townships that we have this program with is actually beyond that. Again, it's the surgery, the rabies vaccine, the distemper vaccine. They are getting microchipped. They're getting the FIV, FDLV test, and any additional medical as seen necessary by our veterinarian.
I was under the impression they did everything but microchip, but whatever the case, there is another program out there if people felt that they wanted to trap a feral cat and have it
Yes,
fixed.
yeah, there's other options, short of just going through the SPCA, yes. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
going through the Humane Society, yes.
Right.
And this evening, you want us to vote on this now?
No, if you were interested in moving forward with the program, it's, I believe the next step is to introduce an ordinance that you're interested in establishing a policy to establish the program.
So, okay.
To implement the program.
To go into it, so the next step at this point would be to agree to the program itself, generally, is what we see a lot of the municipalities do. They agree and they sign that program, and the next step from there would be if the township, whether it's a council or the mayor's office itself, want to sit down and actually customize their ordinances to, again, fit their town. That's what I did that with the township of Aberdeen. I think I sat with the mayor and the town manager for about 2.5 hours, and customizing those ordinances specific to the township. That's an option that we're making available to you guys.
I think that's what we need, don't you all?
Yes.
The program itself needs specific ordinances, and again, it allows for the program. Again, the program itself, once the person registers as a county manager with the program, it is in their protection, because at that point, they're agreeing to the requirements for the program to where they're now protected by the program to continue to feed, as long as they continue with the requirements of that program itself.
Do you have known locations now that you're looking at?
There's a few
Yes.
that I believe I have within my email. I don't have it available to me to speak on right now. What I would generally do in this aspect is once we agree to this program and we have that ordinance that's approved, when we have that public meeting to where you speak with your residents and they are updated on the program itself, within that meeting is generally where you'll get a lot of people that are either feeding or neighbors that know that their neighbor's feeding, or they see random cats around. That's where you get a bulk of the amount of information on it. Again, Howell is a pretty large township, as you guys know. Short of me and your animal control and every one of our other animal control officers coming in to look around, we're not going to find every county out there. It does rely on heavily on the public availability to let us know where there may be a county that maybe we missed one.
So you mentioned that you were in other towns, and do you have examples that you could share with the governing body so that we could review that?
As far as ordinances,
Yes,
so I provided Penny with.
so that we could
Yep.
customize?
So I provided Penny with a copy of the ordinances from the Borough of Highlands that I work with them to establish, as well as I have the ordinances from Aberdeen. I'm just waiting for them to send me a final copy. I'd be more than happy to share with the governing body.
So you currently only work with 2 other areas?
Within the Humane Society aspect of it, we don't contract with the Borough of Highlands. That's from my time at the SPCA.
Who do you contract with?
There's 23 towns that we contract with at this time. I can provide the list of those towns, and at this
Please.
point, we have met with every one of those towns, at a minimum, the preliminary of advising them of the program. So there are multiple towns where we're at different stages of meeting with it. At this point, the Township of Aberdeen and the Borough of Union Beach are the furthest within the process as far as whether it's council meetings or actually waiting on implementation of those ordinances itself.
So if you could also share a list with the other townships that you're working with, or the other counties that you're working with, and where you are in the stage of that.
Yeah, what I can say is we're still on the newer side of it. I'm still new to the Humane Society. I've only been there for about a month. So it's my month frame of being there. They brought me on specifically for this program itself and implementing it within the townships that they contract with. So again, the program itself is relatively new. The realm and the idea of the program is not so new.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.